All right, here we go.
Oh, my cats and kittens.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of Trade the Chain. It is July 8th, and it is Thursday. We are almost to the end of the week, but really glad you could join us. We had some traditional market sell-off today. CJ will explain a little bit about that, but a lot of red on the screens. Whatever. We're in like blah moods. But that being said, I also want to let you know if you're not following the Twitterverse, Bitcoin.com exchange wanted me to relay that the cent AMA is pushed till next week, and can't say much, but I think it has to do with some news. So it's pushed out to next week. Go to the Bitcoin.com exchange Twitter account to get more. That's not my doing. Damn storms. Paradise isn't what it's cut up to be.
I guess it depends on the paradise you pick, right? Because Puerto Rico is beautiful right now.
That's a fair point. Paradise you pick. So, a couple things I wanted to mention. First of all, you guys saw the title today. This is a real thing. That's not even clickbait. We're actually going to go over this. I think Ryan's going to have a lot of fun with it. And I'm pretty sure CJ is just gonna like throw open his mouth on it, but it's okay. We're gonna get to it. We're gonna talk about what that's all about. A couple things I wanted to share though that I felt were relevant, that we thought we should convey is there's news today out of payments.com, a couple other places, and it has to do with Visa crypto cards, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Here we have Visa crypto-backed cards count 1 billion in spending. This is massive because when we're all talking and we see the chit chat that's going on social media and everything, everybody's always, going to like Stormex or VGX and they're like, hey, when's a debit card coming out? And when's this and when's that? Because there's actually a lot of use for this. And I have a few friends who I've seen them whip out crypto.com cards and everything like that. But you look here, 1 billion worth of cryptocurrency globally on goods and services was spent in the first 6 months of the year, according to Visa. I don't know if you guys missed it, but Circle, which hooked up with crypto.com earlier in the year, 10 million customers to access cryptocurrencies. That's going to be a lot of people using debit cards too. And I think that is the most popular debit card right now, if I'm not mistaken.
That's incredible.
It really is
$1 billion.
But a real thing to look at down at the bottom is that because crypto is not part of their ecosystem in doing business, Visa has no short-term plans to hold it or deal with it for now. But what they do is they do facilitate it through these cards. Let me ask you this. I didn't really think about debit cards. Let's go back 2 years ago. I think crypto.com was doing an MCO like debit card deal, right, Ryan?
Yeah, I remember talking to them at 2018 Consensus when they were still building that card. And then they launched it not too long after.
Yeah. And at first I thought like nobody's going to spend their crypto on a card. I was like, sounds great on paper, but would anybody do it? But apparently 1 billion people have done it in the first 6 months.
Well, I've used MetaMask to spend crypto to buy things here in San Juan. A lot of merchants take ETH of all things. And I've bought things with ETH.
Wait, hold on. I know CJ's about to come in with something really cool, but Ryan, you've been spending ETH on the island?
Yeah. Old San Juan, a number of stores take crypto.
I'm so behind the times, man.
I bought my wife jewelry with ETH. Like, it's cool.
Really?
Yeah.
CJ, what's up?
Not that we have any transparency into what those transactions consist of, but I'd be willing to bet that a high percentage of them are USDC. And that's strictly due to the tax ramifications of mainland citizens like myself. But yeah, I don't think people want to spend crypto. Perhaps I'm wrong, but the incentives and the mechanisms set up currently don't really incentivize people to to spend Bitcoin,
That was
unless
one
we're
thing.
getting really, really overextended in a bullish.
That was one thing that I was going to bring up, but I didn't want to be ants at a picnic like I always am. I wonder how these people are going to react to the tax bill that they get at the end of the year when they realize.
That's what I was just thinking, Ryan. Aren't you creating a taxable event every time you charge your mocha latte half calf decaf with whip on your debit card with crypto using USDC?
USDC, no, because it doesn't appreciate in value. But I bet you are with Bitcoin or ETH or other things, right? I think what I'm more interested in, if you look further down in this payments.com article you had on the screen, MasterCard is going to launch a credit card this summer with Gemini that allows people to earn crypto as a reward. So the more you spend in fiat, the more crypto, it's the second to last graph, the more crypto you earn as a reward. That to me is a much more compelling use case than spending crypto off a card.
Oh, so check this out. Okay, all right. This is starting to come together like a little model boat in a bottle. So is this basically why everybody is after Simon for the card? Or does StormX have plans to cash back debit card purchases in crypto? Do we know that, or are we going to ask them tomorrow in AMA?
Isn't that how it works, though? Right? Like you have things linked to StormX, and then you spend and you earn crypto back based on what you spend. Like I don't think they necessarily need to launch a card. It would make sense for them to do so, but I don't think they need to.
Okay. All right. I mean, I'm just saying people are chasing them down for it. Same with Voyager. So
Voyager makes sense. Most brokerages have cards, right? Like if you have a UBS account or you have a Schwab account, you can get a debit card that lets you spend the cash. Yeah, you can get a debit card that lets you spend the cash that's sitting in your account. So, I mean, they had that even, I don't know, 16 years ago when I worked at UBS. They had those like types of accounts and cards. So, I mean, they've had that forever on Wall Street.
Yeah. So, all right, cool. Yeah. I mean, the article just mentions Circle, BlockFi, Coinbase, Gemini are all have deals with Visa. For this, maybe Trade the Chain and launch a debit card. Who knows? Market Rebellion debit card. Who knows?
Put the cart before the horse, Alex.
Now you're gonna get inquiries saying when's the card coming, because you mentioned
we're not launching a card
ever.
We are not launching a Trade the Chain card. No, that's not happening. Not anytime soon, anyway. That's not even on the roadmap.
Did I put the card before the horse?
There you go. This is just a reminder that we are not launching a debit card, and also that all content provided by Trade the Chain and Market Rebellion is strictly for educational and informational purposes only. This is not investment advice. You should not be listening to us, and why would you anyway? I have a shirt covered in lobsters. Trade the Chain is brought to you by TradeTheChain.com, a global community of traders all around the world, because of course it's global. Yes, I did it again. And they're of all ages, all backgrounds, all skill levels, and all using AI-driven sentiment indicators and actionable alerts to help them beat the market. If you too want to trade like a crypto insider, head on over to Trade the Chain. Check us out. 14-day trial.
Definitely check out that 14-day trial. What do you have to lose? Be a consumer. We're in a capitalistic society, but also,
okay. Thank you.
Moving over to marketrebellion.com/crypto. This is myself and Monty and our community at Market Rebellion, traders all throughout the world, sharing those victories and defeats. We also publish trade ideas with entries, exits, and stop losses with email updates throughout the week. We also have a pro charting platform and an extensive crypto trading education curriculum that we are constantly adding to. So if you'd like to try that for the first month for just $1, you can go to marketrebellion.com/crypto to sign up. So we appreciate that, guys. And what do we got? Anything?
I got something. I was going to give people a sneak peek, and then the disclaimer came up because obviously there was a line I was getting close to. There's no debit card coming, folks.
Sorry, Daryl, no debit card. None. 20% cent returns. Nothing.
Not going to happen. All right. Now, I just wanted to give a few of the non-TTC members a little sneak peek at the screen, show them what's going on.
Hot coin summer. That's what's going on. Hot coin summer.
Look at this. I don't know what the heck trust swap is, but man, that 1 hour projection, that daily sentiment. Look at the hourly sentiment, 96.
Ooh, trust swap, boom.
286% up. But I will tell you what's a standout. I think Ryan's a fan of this. It's Chili's.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
This is that's a 92, very bullish on the sentiment score. But you just look at relative tweet and relative trading are both up for the day. Now, here's something I want some education on. I saw this popping yesterday, and that is KuCoin shares. Now, KuCoin shares.
Ooh.
Let me ask you this. Does anybody here own KuCoin shares?
No.
Okay. I think they are the utility for KuCoin. I don't trade on KuCoin, but I think they might be for reduced trading fees or something like that. But this is absolutely nuts. They got 1,000% increase in tweet volume and almost 300% in trade volume. So I thought that was kind of nuts. Looking at the 1 hour projection real quick.
What? Look at the high end of that range for digital note.
Digital note, but you can see why it's just not pulling in enough social on it. So it's Stacks now. Stacks is showing bearish in the daily, but the 1 hour 11%. Akami, Orchid. Look at Orchid. Orchid 10%.
Orchid has had incredible volume ever since last week. We first started seeing volume spikes in Orchid. That was one we talked about. So it's good to see that one finally come through.
Look at that. Good for them.
Holy cow.
Look at that. Good for them. That's incredible.
That is great. Orchid has been, I've seen it pop in, spend some time there. You got some CeeLo. Wow, CeeLo 1 hour is plus 4%, only 0.93 to the downside in the 1 hour. And this I always think is tomato coin. But anyway, enough of that. There's a look at what's hot in today's market. CJ, do your thing, buddy.
Let's get it.
So a lot of fear this morning, a lot of red out there in the sea of crypto, but let's try to understand why. And I think it has to do with traditional markets and risk on assets in general, because there's a piece of news we saw this morning coming out of Japan. So basically we are just having continued fears around COVID or a potential outbreak in Japan, even though there may not be a whole lot of cases. It's still very sensitive reaction. And so this action that's been taken essentially to ban spectators, it definitely spooked the market this morning. And we saw a big decrease to kind of start today. Ever since we've rallied back and really are starting to create a nice hammer candle. But one pattern and overall trend that I want to point out in the S&P, and what I like to do in really any asset with this type of trend, is find a moving average that fits these low points very consistently. In this instance, this is the 20 smoothed moving average. So on the daily chart, and as you can see, I have these green arrows highlighted, and each time we get a bullish engulfing candle or a rebound off of this level, it's been a very nice buy signal or a very nice indication to buy the dip. And so now we kind of have the question, at least when it comes to traditional markets, do we see a full-on regression to the moving average, or does this bullish continuation break through that previous TD sell 9 into new highs in the SPX? We'll see, but it depends on how we play this. So how would I play this? I would wait for a regression and then a bullish engulfing candle off of support, something like that, or that, or that, to essentially give that confirmation that, okay, we're probably going to break new highs. If we just go right back up, I would put a breakout trigger right there to buy the all-time high, to ultimately buy high and sell higher. That's kind of the philosophy that I like to take, especially when we're in such bullish trending markets like this. But overall, this decrease in the SPX has really led into Bitcoin. And so why don't we take a look at where we are in BTC as well. So the thing that has me a little bit concerned, if the S&P or the traditional markets don't really rally and we have continued downward pressure on Bitcoin is kind of the continuation of this this bear flag pattern. And many times when we have a consolidation, price will usually return in the direction of that consolidation based on the overall trend. So if we do not see buyers step into traditional markets, I think there is a higher probability that we do kind of conclude this bear flag at about 26K. But that still remains to be seen. We could create another macro higher low here if we do rally with the bulls. But now the fact that we've seen that weakness in the traditional markets, I don't know. I guess it just makes Bitcoin a little bit more vulnerable here. And so we'll have to see. It's just, I keep reiterating very similar points each episode, which is it's hard to take any definite action without a breakout from this range. This range is just getting tighter and tighter. And ultimately, it's like a coiling of a spring between buyers and sellers, ultimately till we get to one catalyst point where we get a massive breakout in one direction or another. And we just haven't gotten it yet. So, that's what I have to say about that.
I'm real quickly, Ryan, hold on one second. Real quickly, do you mind covering the crypto exposed stocks in the traditional side too?
Yeah, for sure. Why don't we start with Ryan's favorite?
MSTR, baby.
Let's get it.
Ryan's a sailor boy.
I like this. I like the MicroStrategy chart. We're above the moving average. We're more bullish from a technical perspective than Bitcoin. It looks like these are likely turning into the lows. I mean, look at this insane amount of buyer volume. These buyers who are willing to step in because they believe this is likely the low. Plus, I think when you considering some of the no, that would be more about the fundamental. I was going to say impacting with mining, but that's obviously Riot and Mara, not MicroStrategy. Mm-hmm. But I do like this chart, and I would look for a bullish engulfing candle off of that moving average for another entry off of MicroStrategy. Also, one thing that we've been seeing in the unusual option activity log for Market Rebellion and the Nigerians and like options trading is we've seen a ton of unusual option activity on stocks like Riot and MicroStrategy kind of within those last 2 to 3 weeks. So we got some big players taking bets on these stocks, ultimately betting bullish on Bitcoin for the rest of the year.
So one thing that concerns me about a potential, I guess, hurdle for Bitcoin or for crypto markets in general to continue surging upward is what is the equities markets. They're massively overvalued, and there's clearly a bubble. And when that bubble bursts, as we've talked about in previous episodes, is I think going to determine how long crypto has the opportunity to go up, right? So when you look at something like the CAPE ratios, which we've looked at before on this show, and they're a great indicator of how where the stock market sits in terms of value. They're at a high only seen once before, right before the dot-com crash. So at a certain point, something has to give. It can't just keep going up and up and up. This is a reliable indicator going all the way back to the 1880s, right? So Black Tuesday, which is right here at 30, the last time that we surged up and we went down to levels seen on Black Tuesday, which we all know was a catastrophic collapse in the stock market. So I'm very concerned about what's going on in equities markets. And that's kind of why I'm just completely out of equities right now, because sure, there might be some more upside, but the downside really concerns me, absolutely concerns me. And there's nothing wrong with taking profits now. And as Alex has mentioned before, if the equities bubble pops, then it's going to take crypto with it, because once we go risk off in equities, all the other risk assets go right down with it.
Yep, 100%. I'm just taking a look here, looking at coin. Yeah, still down 35%. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. A lot of things. I agree with you 100%, Ryan. And those equity markets are going to play a pivotal role. What's happening with so you look at the crypto stocks. Coin just can't seem to find its balance. I really hope. I'm curious to see when the market, according to me, second legs up the end of the summer. My opinion only, to see if that correlates with it, because that'll be interesting. We've put in line that a lot of other companies are directly tied to it. Go ahead, Brian. I knew you were going to say something.
Yeah, but this also goes back to the argument against how you're not exposed to systemic risk by being in Bitcoin, and how returns are uncorrelated to everything happening outside of Bitcoin, right? So many publicly traded companies are either invested in Bitcoin, working in blockchain, or
There, it's systemic.
Bitcoin carries with it the same systemic risk that equities does. Equities go down, Bitcoin goes down. Bitcoin goes down, it takes equities with it. Look what happens to the NASDAQ every time Bitcoin goes down a lot. I don't understand how people can sit here and continue to perpetuate the narrative that Bitcoin doesn't have, it insulates you from systemic risk and it has uncorrelated returns. It's absolutely, it's a falsehood.
I mean, gold doesn't even, in a liquidity crisis, the only thing that is desirable is cash.
Well, of course, right? I'm not advocating for gold here. I'm not Peter Schiff. I'm not.
No, I understand that. I was just, I'm agreeing with you, Ryan. I don't understand that mantra in Bitcoin either. It's never been a hedge against, crash in traditional equities, or a safe haven asset. It could be, it has the properties of it, maybe one day, but it's a 10-year high risk asset that has been unproven.
I think if it does do that, not to cut you off, Alex, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
If it ever does become digital gold, it probably isn't going to happen during our lifetimes. Look how long it took gold to be gold, right? I mean, it was always valuable, but it didn't take on the safe haven properties it has now on a widespread basis in the way that it's traded now. In the first 50 years it existed as a publicly traded commodity, it takes time. These things take time. People don't realize that Bitcoin could very well be digital gold, but it could be 50, 100 years out, right? Or there could be another crypto that hasn't even been launched yet. That could be it. That could be that safe haven. Who knows? But it's just, nope. It isn't. I'm
curious, and I want to know your guys' thoughts. I'm dead serious on this too. This isn't even a joke. If Olive Garden didn't offer the endless bread bowl, do you think that they would have a higher stock price due to revenue increases?
Absolutely. Remember when that venture capital firm took over them and tried to find ways to cut costs? They actually did eliminate the endless breadsticks for a little while, and the uproar was such that they had to bring it back. But that's such an obvious no-brainer. But
I'm saying it was because it was a revolt of in-store sales, right? So they got rid of the endless bread bowl, but the caveat was everybody was like, "I'm not paying for the bread bowl," so they stopped showing up. Exactly. But if they could do that, if they didn't have that cost, then yeah, of course they'd raise profit margins. All right,
I'm going to go with the Italian's opinion on this one. Probably knows his bread bowls best. I have no idea personally, but just to play devil's advocate, I think it was the CEO of Costco or whatever, said, if you raise the price of the hot dog, I'll kill you.
Yes.
That makes sense, right? That makes sense.
But what's also funny,
that was true story. That was true story.
That's amazing. But also going back to Olive Garden, I actually worked there in high school. And my first job in the kitchen at Olive Garden was breadstick boy. I literally had to stand there all night just making breadsticks. They have one person on breadsticks. Not only do you have the cost of the bread, the butter, the electricity to bake it, you also have the labor cost of actually having to hire someone specifically to make breadsticks.
And that's where Ryan learned about Bitcoin.
Breadcoin.
All right, the folks, the next story I want to get to is an important story, and it has to do with DOGECOIN and this thing called Tiger King coin. Okay, this hit Forbes earlier this morning, and it was important enough for them to carry, so I really wanted us to cover this. DOGECOIN suddenly crashed after one of its vocal investors, a big investor, backed the Tiger King coin. And it sent it up 1,000 points higher. Now, this is important. Why? This is important because so many everyday people are invested in Dogecoin. And they've picked Dogecoin over other coins that may be more likely to be invested in, or I don't want to say should be invested in. So, Ryan, can you break this down for us? I mean, we're down like 20% in 24 hours, maybe on Doge, or for the week at least.
It's 20% over the last week and 10% over the last 24 hours. So Matt Wallace, I guess he's a well-known YouTuber. He has a sizable audience. He invests in Dogecoin. He decided to buy Tiger King coin for whatever reason, who knows? And it goes up 1,000%. That's incredible. But I mean, I didn't even know there was a Tiger King coin, which that to me is just, okay, why not? But and yet now he's talking about how when season 2 of Tiger King comes, the Tiger King coin is going to go through the roof, like they're somehow linked. How are you going to have season 2? If anyone has watched Tiger King, there is no season 2.
No, I mean, because watching him sitting in prison is not really entertaining.
It could be.
Have you ever seen
Actually,
True Detective?
What's that?
You know, haven't you guys ever seen True Detective? They just
wonderful show.
A different plot line that's similar. Yes. Maybe there's a second Tiger King that comes.
But they took all the animal people out in one season of Tiger King. They had some guy up in North Carolina. They had another one somewhere else. Like they were all over the country. It wasn't just Joe Exotic and Carol Baskin. Like it was all these different farms that we already know their resolutions. It's been in the news. A lot of them have been shut down.
All right, I haven't seen it, so sorry.
Watch it.
Watch it.
Early.
One thing is that, you know, this article just reinforces this other Bloomberg article, which has to do with the billions lost to crypto scammers. I'm going to drop this in the chat as well for folks to read, because this is really important to understand. You know, the fact that Forbes covered, and we love Forbes, I'm not knocking Forbes in this, covered this story about Dogecoin and the Tiger King coin seems a little off the normal beaten path that they do. But crypto scammers ripping off billions, this is real. This is happening all the time. And so just want to make sure that everybody understands the pros and cons of things like Tiger Coin or some various other coins. The Tiger King coin, yeah.
You know, apparently, according to Joe Exotic's official Twitter account, he has endorsed Tiger King coin.
Of course, he has nothing else to do.
I guess he also figures he's already in prison. How can they send him to prison again when he's already there? Maybe he's thinking for shilling an altcoin. I don't know. This is so weird. He's in prison for 22 years, by the way.
Yeah, that's a long time.
He's not coming out anytime soon. Carol Baskin.
Hello, all you cats and kittens.
Yeah.
Listen, all right. I mean, this is a crypto show, folks, but we did want to just make a point of that. Read the Bloomberg article for scams. There's a lot of people getting scammed. I mean, if Mark Cuban can get rug pulled, you can get rug pulled.
Anyone can get rug pulled. And also, don't forget that Wallace, who still owns Dogecoin, apparently, he tweeted last night that Dogecoin is actually the future cryptocurrency of Earth, whatever that means.
Sorry, I see someone in the comments who says, from now on, we're calling Ryan Breadstick Boy.
I don't care. I've been called worse in the comments before, so I'm good with that.
I love it.
Breadstick Boy at your service.
Another one from Jeff in the comments. Tiger Coin totally reinforces all bad myths about crypto. That's absolutely true, man. That's absolutely true. I don't know. I feel like we progressed so much up until this show was born from COVID lockdown. And I felt like we progressed so much in cryptocurrency when we first went on the air, and we had hedge fund managers on and just keeping it real. And then I feel like over the last 6 months, things have digressed. Like we've turned back into infants. I say that for all of us, just because we're all responsible in some little way. But
I mean, you always regress, right? You're born in a diaper and you end life in a diaper, I guess. So I mean, it's just the circle of life. But also, like, it's amazing thinking about how we started doing this show during COVID lockdowns just as a way to pass time, thinking, hey, maybe we'll turn this into something, maybe not. And we've built this audience, and it's incredible. We really do appreciate all the people who take the time to watch, make us part of their afternoon or evening or wherever you are in the world. And we do appreciate it. So, just thank you. Absolutely.
Yeah. I know CJ regrets ever answering that phone call from me, but no, truly, we'll just take a sentimental look back. This is where the slow music plays, but we started this show to do a weekly update. We called it Trade the Chain. It turned into a daily update. Trade the Chain turned into a business platform for crypto data. And then there was this thing called Send Token born, Market Rebellion. They're our friends, whether they like it or not, and everything else. And now we're sponsors of a NASCAR team. So things have come full circle in 12 months. And it's really all thanks to the people who watch and to our members and everybody else who supports us in any which way. So thank you very much, folks. If you're new to the channel, definitely hit subscribe, hit like or dislike, whatever ones floats your boat. Check out CJ over at marketrebellion.com/crypto. Monty was off today again, so no, I don't want to hear rumors of him being fired off the show. And that sent AMA next week. Check out bitcoin.com exchange account for the AMA new time Twitter account. Thank you, because I think it has to do with they wanted to coincide with announcements from Cent. So check that out. And hang on to your handlebars. There's going to be a special show tomorrow with Simon Yu, CEO of StormX. So definitely tune in for that. And we will see you then. All right. Hang on to your handlebar, guys. Thank you for watching. Happy crypto trading, folks. Love you all.
Breadstick boy out.
Breadstick.